Hello everyone, the Chart Guys have been working on an introductory technical analysis course for quite some time now, and after surveying hundreds of traders with what would be the most sought after information regarding technical analysis, we came up with this course, When to Enter and Exit. It covers over 5 hours of the basics on when to enter and exit, and we feel after watching this course it will help build a foundation of technical analysis knowledge which will eliminate a lot of the uncertainty in the world of trading stocks. So the course outline, we go over the psychology of trading, establishing a game plan, the different indicators we use to signal a bullish and bearish entry, how to recognize support and resistance levels, poor entries, where traders make mistakes, exit targets, how do you know where to sell your trade, where to place stop losses, that's very important, minimizing losses is what keeps you in the game long term, my personal preparations, how I go about getting ready for each trading day, and then piecing it all together, utilizing all the information we just learned and how to apply that in the real world for making successful, profitable trades. As a bonus, we also include a lot of information on finding entries and exits utilizing patterns, and you can find these patterns on every time frame on pretty much any stock and commodity trading, and certainly being able to recognize those patterns can give you an edge as well. So we hope you will check this out. Again, it's an introductory level course. So if you are new to technical analysis and trying to get a firm grasp on things and feeling a little bit overwhelmed, then this course is for you. I hope you check it out. Appreciate you watching. Looking at CMG SKX NKE and TWTR daily weekly time frame. So CMG is finding itself in a tightening range as we approach earnings in later this week, and where we position ourselves on the weekly time frame, it's going to be make or break on these earnings. But right now on the daily time frame, the range I'm watching is 412.17 support and 421.70 resistance. And we can see upper wicks 3 out of the last 4 days, a lower wick yesterday. So the range is tightening, seeing some positioning by traders and investors heading into earnings. And because of this very clear downtrend, which has now leveled out and is trading sideways, a bull reaction to earnings, and we're going to look to resume an uptrend, or I should say restart an uptrend, heading back towards 500. And if we see a bearish reaction, we're heading down to our recent low of 352.96. SKX, further downside, and we had key support down here at 24.39, 24.33, and we bounced off 24.32. So very clearly the bulls are defending the 24.30s, and they did buy that dip. It is a bullish reversal hammer. If we see a green day tomorrow, it will be confirmed after a 4-day pullback, rejecting from the 200-day moving average resistance, currently 26.08. It's going to require breaking 24.32 and seeing a weak close to break this higher low pattern, which is still defending support. So that range that I'm watching right now is 24.32 up to 26.08, and the bulls do have some momentum heading into tomorrow. We held this 50-day moving average support last week, and we're holding it again this week, barely closing above it, but it's the close that matters. Weekly time frame, we can see the lower wicks of the past 3 weeks defending that support area, and if we were to see a weak, W-E-A-K, then we would close below these exponential resistances, or they're actually acting as support and they would become resistance, and we would see a potential bearish cross to the downside of the 4 period over the 8 period. So it's a pretty important week. Our support is very clear. The lower Bollinger Band is defending that support as well, and it's going to require a full-on breakdown to break these tight Bollinger Band channels and a full-on breakout to break to the upside over the 200-day moving average. So I would not be surprised to see some sideways trading for a while before that key break happens, but clearly we are tightening up, and those Bollinger Bands show that. NKE broke the higher low pattern. Bulls bought the dip here as well, but I would certainly be leaning more bearish than bullish at this point because we had our clear resistance at $54, and now we broke that higher low pattern. It was 52.72, and we dipped down to 52.41. Bulls did buy that dip and closed above that level of 52.72, technically maintaining that support, but very clearly the strong, clear uptrend has broken, and we are looking for potential pullback. So yet again, anytime we head up towards $54, it's a top fishing bearish entry opportunity where if you make a bear entry, you would exit if we close above $54. So I do expect the bulls to potentially see some follow through tomorrow because they did see some nice buying of the dip, but I would look for resistance in the upper $53 range for another bearish entry opportunity. We have that clear $54 resistance for the last month, and it looks like we're pulling back a little bit. We broke the low of the past 2 previous weeks. Weekly middle Bollinger Band support is 51.93. Twitter bulls showing up in a big way today, closing over the middle Bollinger Band, 1691. They're trying to reverse this trend now. We're looking at support of 1616, 1621, 1633, and now 1641. So there's some incremental higher lows forming. Bulls need to show up and break the lower high pattern. Keep an eye on these bulls as they had a lot of momentum today, and if we can break 1710, I'm looking to 1715, and then the 200-day moving average, and it looks like there's a gap here as well at 1723. But that's some serious volume on the candlestick today, so keep an eye out for some potential further upside. We can see the weekly range is tightening. We had our low, the high of our bounce attempt, now a higher low, and the bulls want to see a higher high over 1778. Otherwise, this range is going to continue to tighten on the weekly time frame. But Twitter overall is clearly a bear on the weekly, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I would like to get a bearish entry at the middle Bollinger Band weekly resistance because we have rejected so many times from that level. But as of right now, looking like the bulls have the short-term momentum. Same thing with NKE and SKX. Bulls have the short-term momentum because they bought the dip today and closed up near the high. So that's what we're looking at heading into tomorrow. CMG tightening range as we head into earnings. Earnings is going to be very key for the overall weekly trend for the rest of, let's say, Q1 and Q2 2017. I think it's going to have that significant of an impact depending on which direction we go. And everything else, bearish weekly charts with lower highs very clear, but the bulls buying the dip a bit, defending key support on the daily time frame. So I appreciate you watching. We'll check back in tomorrow. Weakness in the S&P 500 today, but by the end of the day, the bulls bought the dip in the markets, and the bulls buying the dip in these individual names as well.